All right, good day, everybody. Welcome to Headline Hits with LW. It is Thursday, March 24th, 2022. How's everybody doing this afternoon, this morning? Some things in the news I find interesting and just thought I'd share with you guys real quick. So let's hit it. Let's hit the headline hits. The Ukraine. You are a guy, go to war, end quote. Fleeing Ukrainian trans women turned back at the border. Another transgender woman born as a biological male has been turned back by the Ukrainian officials at the Polish border and told to go fight for the country. Transgender individuals have been legally recognized in the Ukraine since 2017. However, despite being allowed to change their legal gender, the Ukrainian border force has reportedly been carrying out their own physical gender inspections in order to determine if people will be permitted to flee the country or to be banned from leaving the country under the martial law restrictions, which require all Ukrainian men aged between 18 to 60 to stay and fight Russia. Find that pretty interesting, I guess. I guess in the Ukraine right now, if you consider yourself a woman and you don't have the right plumbing for that, I guess they're not going to let you out. I guess they're going to throw you out there on the front lines. I don't know. Just found that pretty strange. Here's something that I found really, really hilarious. Of course, this person has been dead I don't know how many times, but she's back in the news. Hillary Clinton trolled hard over the sickness recovery movie recommendations. Now, this is funny. Twitter blew up about this. So she went on to say that her and old Slick Willie there, they both tested positive for the sickness, and it was just a mild cold to her. And that old Billy boy there, they were going to just stay in quarantine, right? Because that's what we have to do nowadays. If you get a sniffle or if you sneeze, you better go lock yourself in the basement for 14 days. Or now, I think maybe now it's changed to 10. That's what the recommendation is now. So she asked for recommendations for movies while they're quarantined. She also made the stupid statement that she was thankful for the vacations that are available to people nowadays. She says, I tested positive for the C word. I got some mild cold symptoms, but I'm feeling fine. I'm more grateful than ever for the protection of the vacations can provide against serious illness. Please get vacation or boosted if you haven't already. End quote. That was from Hillary. So the recommendations on Twitter were as followed: 13 hours, the secret soldiers of Benghazi. And some of the tweets were mean. Oh boy, were they mean. Mean tweets. We don't like mean tweets. We vote for somebody else in the presidential election because of mean tweets, right? Here's my recommendation. This is from Bernard B. This is my recommendation: the story of 4 American heroes that lost their lives because you failed to do your job. You should watch it over and over again. That's one tweet. What a mean tweet. What a mean tweet. Another one, it's a classic, strong memories involved. That was from Zach. Here's another one. When everything went wrong, 6 men had the courage to do what needed to be done, referring to 13 hours. Another recommendation was, this show has been incredible, based on true story. The Impeachment American Crime Story. Another recommendation is Jeffrey Epstein's Filthy Rich. Now, I seen that, and it is a disgusting movie. Another one recommendation for her sickness movie quarantine was Hillary's America, The Secret History of the Democrat Party. So just some recommendations from people on Twitter. Thought that was pretty hilarious. especially when this person's supposed to be in Gitmo and I don't know other things still in the news. So let's talk about something else that kind of bothers me a little bit here: the 1619 project. So listen to this absolute hogwash and nonsense. The 1619 project creator Nicole Hannah Jones deletes a tweet that said tipping is a legacy of slavery. I can't make this stuff up. 1619 project creator Nicole Hannah Jones on Tuesday deleted a tweet in which she urged tipping servers in restaurants has its roots in slavery. The critical race theory CRT promotion shared her views on restaurant tipping in response to a tweet from the former MSNBC host Tori Nabedel criticizing the practice. They go on record saying tipping is a legacy of slavery and it's not if it's not optional, then it shouldn't be a tip, but simply included in the bill. Have you ever stopped to think why we tip? Like why tipping is a practice in the US, but almost nowhere else, she says, end quote. But they did their own fact checking on this. Some people did, and they want these 1619 project people to realize that people all over the world tip and that it isn't a root from slavery, that you guys are basically a bunch of idiots. And this is the propaganda machine that they use. This is the propaganda that they put out there. This is the stuff that they brainwash our children about. I haven't really paid much attention to the court proceedings that's going on for the recommendation of the new judge from the Biden administration. But just some of the clips that I've been seeing coming out in the last 24 hours, she's tied to a lot of this stuff. She's tied to critical race theory. She's tied to Marxism. She's tied to a lot of bad things, and it's coming out. Is she going to be acknowledged and be the next court justice? I have no idea. I hope to God not. But these people run rampant in our country, and we just allow it to continue. So here's another interesting poll. Battleground poll: 75% of swing voters say Democrats are out of touch with reality. Wow, I'm glad you guys finally woke up to that. A little bit late to the party, but I guess better now than never. 75% of swing voters in competitive districts say Democrats are out of touch with reality or condescending towards them. And on Wednesday's National Republican Conventional Committee, the NRCC, that's the poll. What the poll revealed is the poll surveyed 77 battleground congressional districts and believes will determine the outcome of the election in November. The poll's release said that they polled over 1,000 voters between March 12th and 16, and a majority with the air of 3.1%. It goes on and breaks the numbers down, but the Democrats are losing the support of the Hispanics. The Hispanics, they've dropped 31 points in the last 13 months with Hispanics, the Democrat Party, and it just goes on further to just kind of give you all of that disapproval ratings and all kinds of stuff. I mean, this is a dumpster fire from hell, and they are sinking fast. Where we take it from here really is our choice. So we need to get involved at our local level and help with these midterms coming up. Next headline. Here's the propaganda machine at work again. Media Research Center. NewsGuard gives perfect ratings to outlets that spread false claims about the Biden laptop. It says that it gives perfect 1 out of 1% credibility ratings to news organizations that help bury the Hunter Biden laptop from hell story. One of the most I can't say that word. I know coincidental stories of 2020 presidential cycle and beyond, according to the report from Media Research Center. So what this center does is it goes out and it looks at all news channels and news sources and sees who's putting out truth and who's not, who's fact checking everything, who's not. I mean, it's a pretty big deal, and they are saying that organizations, left wing news organizations like Politico and the Washington Post and USA Today, and the New York Post are all getting huge ratings for calling that story disinformation. And they did it back in 2020 during the election cycle. They buried that thing. They called it a hoax predicated by the Russians. And now it's all coming to light. It's all coming to the surface. A lot of people getting caught. This is just another prime example of lamestream media, the propaganda machine that has lied and brainwashed millions and millions of people. And I think people will wake up to it. I think they're going to realize it, and I think lamestream media, I think their days are numbered, and they're going to go to the wayside. I truly believe a lot of them are just they're completely going to be bankrupt and disappear. All right, next headline. Let's talk about Kevin McCarthy. He's back in the news, the big badass majority leader. He talks big, but let's see if they can ever deliver. So McCarthy, White House GOP finalizing commitment to America, an agenda that plans to roll out later this year. Now, if you guys remember, Newt Gingrich did the same thing, which was called the Contract with America. It was put out in 1994. The Republicans swept into power that year. So now the Republicans that we have in office now are going to take a page out of his playbook, and they are now putting together a commitment to America, which falls along the same lines. So the House Republicans are finalizing their commitment to America agenda here at the House GOP retreat. House GOP leader Kevin McCarthy told Breitbart News in an exclusive interview, he says to expect timeline-wise and formal announcement of the agenda later in the summer toward the end of July, so members can tell their constituents about it during the August recess. The other formal push is in September ahead of the November midterm elections. We started this a year ago, getting the members into all the different task force. They've been meeting, they've been listening, and some things they've been already rolling out, like the Parents' Bill of Rights, which I think is a very important deal. Giving parents the power back to their decisions on raising their kids, and then the parents' right to their kids' education. They've also been working on the border security and other things. So we'll see what happens here. I won't hold my breath on this one. To me, sometimes this is just a ploy to get votes. Are they really going to commit to making America great again? Are they going to actually do something, or is this just a bunch of lip service from the Republicans? You know, the Republicans can't be trusted any more than Democrats, in my opinion. So it's pretty interesting to see where this goes. Next headline, let's talk about cyber attacks. All right. Biden needs to tell Putin can't attack U.S., not tell us to be ready for it. So this is McCarthy again on the whole cyber attack thing. So he went on the broadcast Wednesday with Fox News Channel, Fultner Focus, and he went on to say that President Joe Biden, he's criticizing Joe Biden for focusing on telling Americans to guard against Russian cyber attacks rather than telling Russia there will be consequences if you do so, and urging that Biden was repeatedly sent the wrong signals to Putin and is making statements to tell Putin that he can get away with certain actions, like only declaring a certain sectors of the U.S. to be off limits for cyber attacks. Now, don't get me wrong, the United States cyber attacks everybody else in the world as well. It is a common occurrence now. Every country out there, I'm sure they've got a whole army of people that's all they do constantly all day long is cyber attack, cyber attack, cyber attack. Now, we've been told that we're going to have a big cyber attack here in America. That's still to be seen. It's very possible. I mean, we could be getting it from Russia, China, anyone, really. And it's just a constant battle. If you watch, and I don't know how accurate or how informative some of these new softwares you can get to see these cyber attacks. I know Monkey uses one. He puts that out quite a bit. I've seen some of it. I don't know much about it, but I could tell you it's the new battleground. Computers, internet, cyber attacks, it's the new battleground. And anytime you can get in and shut somebody down and make and cause havoc in their organization, I think is probably, in their opinion, a good thing. So, um, just pretty interesting that, this administration doesn't really have any balls. They just kind of just squeak by on everything, and then it's getting pretty old. So let's talk about the last headline for today. Let's talk about the investigation or possible investigation into the Biden administration. Now, remember back during the Trump administration, investigation after investigation after investigation. I mean, he went entire 4 years being investigated from everything from real estate dealings to his tax releases to Russia, Russia, Russia. And I mean, it was just for as soon as they finished one investigation, they started a new one. Remember that they tried to impeach him twice and they failed. So now Kevin McCarthy is saying they are sending out dozens of preservation notices being sent across the government, setting the stage for a GOP investigation clash with the Biden administration after the midterms. Let's read a little bit further in here. And it says in a Breitbart News exclusive that they're sending out all these notices across the federal government to agencies and departments throughout the Democrat President Joe Biden's administration, ordering them to preserve documents in the anticipation of an eventual subpoenas from the House Republicans after the 2022 midterm elections. What's more, McCarthy said, is he's tasking every House committee to fully engaging in the oversight matters rather than just running through everything through the House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform, broadening the use and levers of congressional authority to engage in a massive and unprecedented effort to rein in the Biden administration on waste, fraud, and abuse of power. So they're going to focus on inflation. They're going to focus on all kinds of things in these committees. And it sounds like it's possible that they're going to finally go after this administration for what they're doing to us, what they're doing to America, all the things that they've done to get us out of being energy independent into be energy dependent on every country in the world. And if you guys haven't been paying attention to that, Biden has gone or sent people to these communist countries, these socialist countries, begging for more crude oil production to send to export to the United States. And a lot of them are giving the Biden administration the middle finger. It's true. We were energy independent. Now we're going around the world begging for help. It's ridiculous. It's disgusting, to be honest with you, but that's the headline hits for today, Thursday. I hope you all have a great day. We'll have a Podbean later this afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Listen, today's Podbean, I have two new pilots that are in the process. They are in litigation right now. They are in lawsuits against the airline companies. And these are two new pilots telling two new stories. You guys really ought to check us out over on Podbean this afternoon, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at LWN Podcast. Love y'all. Have a great day. God bless.